Good afternoon, CCPS. This is Jeff Lawson, coming to you from the boardroom at the Carver Center. I want to share a bunch of information with you that I think is relevant to everyone. I want to start out first by thanking so many people in the school system who have made these last few weeks doable, if you will. We have thousands of students engaged in online learning. It's something that if you would ask us mid-February, were we prepared to do this? Probably not. Our content coordinators, as they're called, they've done a huge amount of work as it relates to curriculum, creating lessons for online learning. Our technology department's been fabulous, and now it's all been placed in our teachers' hands. And as usual, they're taking it, they're running with it. So we certainly want to thank the staff who have done so much over these last 3 weeks. My first remarks, really, I want to gear towards our seniors, the class of 2020, and as you know, so many of them, so many of you know, they were geared up for graduation in June. And this is something that none of us had ever expected. You know, myself, I graduated from high school in 1978, and nobody has ever seen anything like this. So my heart goes out to this senior class, and I can't commit one way or another right now as to whether or not graduations will take place. I think one thing you want to keep an eye out for is listen to the tone of your local, your state, and your national leaders. As soon as you hear them start to think about or talk about, are they comfortable having crowds of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people gather? When you see that start to happen, then you're going to start to see an appetite for maybe a graduation to actually go ahead and happen. So keep an ear out for that. And in the meantime, you know, we'll do everything we can to celebrate the accomplishment of your likely 13 years in the school system. The next thing I think is really important right now is the school calendar. It's important for teachers, for families, for students to understand that we are operating on the board-approved calendar that was approved last year. And what I'm getting at here is that this coming Thursday, Friday, and the following Monday are holidays. They are days off. The expectation of the school system is that teachers are off, students are off, so students, you can go ahead and sleep till 10, 11 o'clock those days in case you haven't been these last 3 weeks. But these next days are off, and I'm really imploring everybody during these 5, 6 days, take a step back and relax and decompress here a little bit, because everybody's been going 100 miles an hour. And I think it's really important that, again, this Thursday, Friday, and then the following Monday are all off days. So again, enjoy the downtime. Another hot button issue right now are grades. And I want to speak to grades in two separate kind of lanes, if you will. The first is the third marking period. Let's talk about the third marking period. The third marking period, when we left out of school on March 13th, we asked teachers and schools to freeze grades. So at that point, a grab, so to speak, a data grab was done to freeze everybody's grade as of March 13th. What we're doing is now we're asking between March 13th and April 17th, in that 4 to 5 week window, we are providing students an opportunity to improve what their grade was on March 13th. On April 17th, the third marking period will technically close out. So the grades will be loaded in and calculated. And we hope to have report cards issued the following week. Now, it's important for everybody to understand one of our primary guiding principles during this time is that no student will be harmed. And this is particularly important right now because we want to make sure that grades will only be improved between March 13th and April 17th. So again, students, I encourage you to reach out to your teacher, reach out to your principals to make sure any missed work, you have an opportunity to make that up. So that's the third marking period. So now let's talk about the fourth marking period. As I stand here right now, the fourth marking period, the approach we're going to take is that students will be issued either a pass or an incomplete for the fourth marking period. And that's what we're comfortable saying right now. If we find out we're going back to school either on the currently scheduled date of April 27th or sometime in May, then we'll have time to actually try to bring the fourth marking period together and issue grades as we normally would. Keep in mind that right now we are slated to go back to school on April 27th, and until we get further direction from the state of Maryland, that's how we will operate. So again, grades for the fourth marking period will be pass or incomplete. We are scheduled to go back April 27th, and in the event we do go back before the end of this school year, we will try to recover more of a traditional grade scenario where we issue students A, B, C, and so on. Another issue that I think is important is that, as you know, juniors were scheduled to take the SAT this April. We have reached out to the College Board. Obviously, that's not going to happen. We will promise that the current juniors, which is the class of 2021, that at some point in the fall, you will take the SAT free of charge at one of our high schools. Again, we won't know what the details are on that until we see the actual calendar ironed out. Special notice to our families that have preschool, pre-K, K, 1 and 2. We are going to begin next week trying to push out loaner device Chromebooks to those families. So if you haven't heard from your school already, you will soon. We're asking you to indicate to the school that you do in fact need a loaner device, and then the school will make arrangements for an appointment for you to go pick up and use a Chromebook again for the rest of the time that we are out. If we're out for the rest of the school year by some chance, you wouldn't be required to bring those back until September. And if we come back, let's just say April 27th or sometime in May, you would bring it back with you then. We are really trying to minimize the amount of paper packets, so we're asking you to please be sensitive to how many packets we're being asked to print and distribute. It's become pretty much an owner's responsibility, so if you could kind of just really keep that in mind. We're really trying to go to a full online learning experience for our students. So that's all I have for you for now. Again, if you have questions for me, you can reach out to me, jalawson@ccps.org. You can put a request into our generic Corona email. It's coronavirusquestions@ccps.org. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and thank you for everything.